Good afternoon, friends and family, and welcome back to The Way Outdoors. Today is Monday, June 17th, and I am here along the East Fork of the Cimarron River. Yesterday for Father's Day, I was down the road at Silver Jack Reservoir camping with my parents, and they headed back today, and I have found a amazing dispersed camping spot, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a hike up the East Fork of the Cimarron. So I was driving up the road here, and there are some amazing dispersed spots. There was a car ahead of me that kind of snagged a spot I had in mind, and I pulled up to this one, and someone was just leaving, and this might be the best view I've ever seen for a car camping site. It's pretty ridiculous that there's nobody here, and it's dispersed and free. This is glorious. So I came up the road here. This is the way you come in. Come along the road, you got all this to your left. And then if you keep going up this way, you reach the trailhead for the East Fork. But right here is a camp spot. The river's down there. You got the view of the mountains here. And just this 360 of this meadow is unbelievable. I just cannot wait until sunset when the color pops, all these clouds coming in. This is gonna be amazing. So I did spend a night down at the official campground with my parents. It was a great night, great way to celebrate Father's Day. So glad to be back to Western Colorado. I think I said that a lot in the last two videos. I'll give you a tour here. I'm gonna get things set up and head up to the trailhead and go hike up the East Fork Trail a little. If I get up high enough, I should have views of Uncompahgre, Wetterhorn, I think Red Cliff, Precipice Peak. So here's coming on down into the site. Plenty of shade down here. You got your fire ring here through the trees. A lot of spots for the tent. You can do something as close as right here, up there in the shade, or you can walk on down here, and I could even put it by the creek. I just really can't believe that I got this spot. There was someone leaving right when I was pulling up, and I asked if I could grab it after them. So they left in about 3 minutes, and I am so excited to be here. So check out the views coming kind of back out towards the meadow here. I mean, come on. Come on. Really? Kind of keeping out for deer, probably not elk, moose, anything else. It's just such a special place, and I'm so grateful to have these opportunities. So this is going to be a car camping trip for one night. I'm not going to be doing any backpacking, but I will be hiking up trail a little bit ways. Let's get camp set up. So I got a couple different tent options here. The one I might be leaning towards is right here in between these guys. It is a good hammock tree too. The other option would be up here. It's kind of one in the shade right in this spot. I actually really like this one too. You get kind of views up towards the peak up there. So it'll be right around here. Nice cow patty. And then the last would just be kind of right in this dirt by the wood post here. There's a flat spot. It's kind of right near everything. So this is probably the least desirable. So I don't think I'm going to be doing this one. Conflicted. So that one or that one. That one's a little close to the fire. I'm not going to have a rager. I might be leaning towards that. What would you choose, viewer? That one or that one? Let's near the fire. Because that's too far of trees to do a hammock setup, which would have a great view for the hammock. So good spot for the tent. And then this one is probably perfect for hammock, but not as open of a view. Not the end of the world. Pretty nice. It's a little more secluded in here. Huh. Decisions. So since I'm car camping, I went with a little bit bigger of a tent. We have an even bigger tent, but this is pretty small as far as camping. I can't definitely stand up in it, but it's not a Taj Mahal either, so it'll do the trick. Quick setup, can normally get it done in 5 minutes. So let's get this going. I kind of like having my tent facing the east as far as the opening. Extra bougie this time. Even brought a little sheet. Sleeping good tonight. All right, I have camp set up. It is 1:50. And basically I'm just gonna leave the necessities here. This is bear country, so I'm not gonna leave my cooler out or anything with scent or food or anything. Gonna load up the day pack and head on up to the trailhead and get that hike started. Did you see that? There was a bee flying by and a bird caught it in midair. Gobbled it down.
Pins and needles in my face, swallowing the rabbit hole.
So the plan for today is kind of up in the air. It is 2:30 in the afternoon, but we do have sunlight until about 9:30. I do just have a day pack on me, but water, first aid kit, supplies, food, everything you need. So I'm just gonna head up a couple miles until I can get a nice view up valley, hopefully get a look at some peaks. I'd like to be able to see Uncompahgre and maybe Wetterhorn and Matterhorn. I got some brand new Solomons, kind of breaking them in, getting a feel for them. I'll probably be using them for day hikes, but still use my Merrell Moabs, my boots, for backpacking. I like the ankle support on those. Hey, Bear. So that first meadow was unbelievable. I just reached another one. Take a look at this. These meadows have been unbelievable so far. I've come through about 3 or 4 of them. They just open up like this. All these dandelions are blooming. The breeze is coming through here. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, this is as close to heaven on earth as you can find. Again, you've been along with me to many places, but something about Southwest Colorado. I've been cruising along here. It's 3:45, so I'm gonna find a turnaround spot pretty soon here. Kind of want to get to one more meadow and crack my kind of summit beer. I keep digging through more forest, so I think it's supposed to open up again. I'll give it maybe 10 more minutes and then I'll crack the beers and turn around if not. All right, I think I'm gonna call it right about here. Continues up there, but we got some snow, and I was hoping to get a nice view at the end of the trail to kind of crack a beer on. I thought it would open up, but I guess not. I didn't really track my mileage. I think I probably did about, I'd say 3 miles, 3.5. Those meadows are probably in the first 2 miles, in case you want to hike it in the future here. But after that, it's kind of been a tunnel of trees. Kind of just a forest walk for, I'd say, another 2 miles. So it's a little bit less picturesque, but still beautiful out here. I was the only one in the parking lot when I pulled up. And this is bear country, so keeping aware, hollering hey bear, and just really keeping my eyes peeled. Hoping to be back to the car maybe within an hour, hour 15. So I'm gonna get back to one little spot here about 10 minutes ago, and I will crack a beer and we'll keep plugging along. There's been a lot of tree fall. They've cut a few of them, but some big boys like this gotta get low. I think this is as good a spot as any to stop, have a beer, and turn around. Beautiful. All right, I've made it to the end of the line for me. Gonna be turning around, but today's hiking beer is Ska Brewing out of Durango, Colorado. Got the Tropical Hazy IPA. Had a couple of these last night with my folks. Good beer though. Cheers. Delicious, tropical. Kind of get some pineapple, mango, almost getting a little peach, but passion fruit probably. What a view. This is a really special place. Definitely want to come back and backpack it. Might actually hike Uncompahgre again. Maybe get a buddy to come along with me and we could start down at the East Fork. It's 14 miles to Uncompahgre, so probably hike up 10 or 12 and then camp, and then the next day early morning climb the peak, break camp, and slog back down. Be pretty awesome. Again, the meadows are kind of the most scenic part of this trail so far from what I hiked. I hiked 3 to 5 miles, I think. Gonna be heading back now. It is 4:15. See when we get back to the car, maybe by 5:15 if I hustle. Gonna be heading back to one of the greatest camp spots ever and cooking up tonight a steak, some potatoes and asparagus. I brought some garlic herb butter, salt and pepper. We're gonna cook it on up. So the fire ring doesn't have a grill since it's a dispersed rock ring. I'm either gonna do the cast iron on the fire or I do have my Coleman stove. And I do actually have a couple of small backpacking pots and a pan actually, I think, so I could probably cook the potatoes in there and maybe just do the asparagus and the steak in the pan. So let's get on going, get into speed mode here. I'm back to one of these beautiful meadows. I think there's about 2 more until we get back to the trailhead. What a beautiful afternoon. Haven't seen another person on the trail. A lot of people like Corona. I actually like Negro Modelo, but I didn't find that in cans. I don't want to carry glass bottles up here, so. Cheers, Modelo, Mexican lager, beautiful backdrop. This was that meadow from earlier that I just loved. So, cheers. Woo. Trail shook it up a little. Cheers. All right, I've made it back to the trailhead. Gonna head on back down to the campsite, hang out, enjoy the views. Definitely one of the best views of any car camping site I have ever had. Oh yeah. Home sweet home. All right. I'm gonna set the old hammock up. Still got like 4 hours of daylight, and tomorrow morning could enjoy it a little bit. It's the Eno double nest. So you can fit 2 people in it. Love this thing. Super easy to set up. So you just got to find a loop here. These are all loops. So depending on the length you need, I'm going to go pretty high up here. You can always adjust back. I'm going to pop this guy up a little more. Pop this one up a little more. Well, I am back at camp, hammock set up. Gonna get the chacos on, maybe sit by the river, put my feet in for a minute, and then eventually get dinner going. Good hike today, went up a handful of miles. Those meadows were gorgeous. I know the part I got to where I turned around was getting steep, and that really gets you through the elevation, and then you get up into the basin where you can see views. So I probably had another 4 or 5 miles to the cutoff for Uncompahgre and looping back over to the middle fork. There's one guy up the road in a van camping. I know there's a couple down here as well, but I got this whole meadow to myself. So hopefully we'll see some deer, wildlife, maybe a bear, be pretty sweet. I'm gonna get a fire going in a little bit here and just enjoy this beautiful afternoon. In the words of one of my favorite YouTubers, David Gray, I am enjoying an adult beverage. This is Balmer Peak. They're out of Lakewood, Colorado. We got a light whiskey, got some smoke notes, dark chocolate. It actually holds up pretty well. What an afternoon. Checking out the afternoon glow on these peaks. This could be the greatest campsite of all time. So I've been hanging out by the river in the hammock. I'm gonna go take a look at that meadow now. Just drove in and walked up through the flowers and looked around because the peaks to the east are great too. These guys are amazing, but we also got a whole sprawl over here. That's looking back at the campsite. I feel like the only person in the world. There's nobody out here. Haven't seen one car come down the road. Did I mention that this could be the greatest campsite ever? Pretty sure I did. And I think it might be true. This is unbelievable. Man, I know the adult beverage has a little bit of effect on my perception of this place, but I gotta tell you, man, this is it right here. This is it. What a great trip. I'm gonna cook up a steak, some asparagus, potatoes. I don't know why I said potatoes, not potatoes. I think I had a change of plans. I think I'm gonna do the steak on my stove. It's got 2 burners. I can do the potatoes, asparagus, and the steak separate pans. That'll do. Gotta make sure we're gonna burn. Set up our fire here. Got the stove ready to go. We'll see how that does. So I don't think I'm gonna need all this asparagus. Got that Kerrygold garlic and herb butter. That'll do for now. Alright, these are looking pretty good. Move these guys on over. Alright, let's see what we got. Not bad. Check the taters. They're looking good. Alright, the steak should be done. Asparagus is done. Just waiting on the potatoes here. Alright, let's see how we did. Potatoes are looking pretty good. Pretty roasted. Should have brought some hot sauce or ketchup. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's a little overdone, but it's definitely doing the trick. This is not bad at all. It's pretty damn good. I can't believe I didn't bring hot sauce or ketchup. What in the hell am I doing? Crazy. So it is 8:10. We still have a good hour and a half of daylight. So, finish eating the steak. Take a look at the meadow again because it's amazing. And then get my fire going. This is so good right now. This was a pretty legendary day, legendary meal. Pretty darn good view. Steak, asparagus, potatoes. I guess just getting the potatoes started probably about 10 minutes earlier would be the ticket. They always take a long time, even at home, but these are great. I mean, I got them nice and blackened. Yeah, so they're pretty soft, not too bad. The asparagus had some nice char on them. That garlic or butter did the ticket. And the steak was a little over. I need to get that dialed in on that stove, but it was a good cut, so it still tasted good. We are back to the meadow for one last shot. Sun has gone down over the ridge. Go get the fire started. Glorious evening. There's a deer in the meadow earlier. It is 8:50. I had a delicious dinner. Got my fire going now. I'm just gonna unwind and enjoy the night. The lows are supposed to be in the mid-40s, and it was a fantastic day. Fantastic 2 days. Cheers. Cheers to you guys for watching, and to the way outdoors, and the future adventures. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I had made it through the night. Had a really good sleep. It's about 7:15. I initially woke up at about 5:30. It was too dark out to just kind of mosey around. Could have gotten up and started a fire. I generally wake up at 4:30 on weekdays when I'm in my normal life and get up and go to the gym, but camping is definitely the exception. It's not fun to just be up and about when it's dark and cold unless you're starting a fire and breakfast and all that, and especially when you got other people you're camping with. But had a fantastic sleep. So I've been using my sleeping bag, and then I have a second sleeping bag that I unzip about 3/4 of the way down, so it's kind of got like a little foot pocket, and then I slide that over my feet, and over the top of me, kind of like a blanket, so double down on the warmth, and it was great last night. Kind of looks like we got some high clouds today. The last 2 days have been crystal clear blue mornings, so this might be bringing in some other shift in the weather over today and tomorrow, but I was waiting for the sun to kind of pop up and actually hit my tent. Not quite happening yet, but I'm going to be getting up here and starting things up. It's always so hard to get out of your tent in the morning when you're camping, especially because it's cold. It's supposed to get into the low 40s last night, which it probably did. I don't think it got into the 30s. I don't have any coffee. So I forgot coffee, but my mom yesterday had coffee. They were camping in a little trailer, but I forgot to ask her if she could leave me with a bag. I even have my coffee press, but no coffee. I do have some energy drinks, so might just chug a lug a Rockstar energy drink, get the morning started that way. Sugar and 200 milligrams of caffeine. I do also have like a backpacker's breakfast skillet meal I could make. Just boil some water. I even brought my jet boil and all my stuff in my backpacking backpack. Last night was awesome. Just hung out by the fire. I think it was just after 10 when I came to the tent. I was just burning down the wood, enjoying the night, and listening to my all-time favorite album, which is Jimmy Eat World Clarity. That album changed my life, and it's something about the backcountry. I put it on and just camping, and the last song, Goodbye Sky Harbor, is 16 minutes long, so when that started, I got up from the fire and started my end of day chores for the camp. Got my teeth brushed, doused the fire, put away all my tubs with food, and did all that, and then laid down here in the tent for the last couple minutes of the song, and then put on a backpacker radio podcast. You guys should check them out. They're out of Golden, Colorado, out near Denver. Zach and Juliana Chauncey. They a lot of fun. They have, you know, your standard podcast format. They have a lot of different guests with their accolades. You know, some of them have finished all the big trails, Appalachian, PCT, CDT. Some of them have bike packed across the country. Some of them have canoed across things, and it's pretty awesome. So they all have different guests with a lot of insight and tons of great information for camping and backpacking. So check it out. It's Backpacker Radio. You can find it at least on like Spotify. I'm sure on Apple, iTunes podcast, whatever format you have. Always a good time. They talk about shenanigans and whatnot, and poop stories, and just cool tips and tricks on leave no trace, and just things you wouldn't think of as far as backpacking. Check it out. And also check out Jimmy Eat World Clarity if you haven't. I know everybody knows of Jimmy Eat World for The Middle and all these other Sweetness and all these other songs that got him really popular on the radio, but Clarity came out right before Bleed American, which was the album that had The Middle, and they got really popular. So Clarity came out in 99, and I think Bleed American came out in 2001. Oh. All right, I think it's time to get up. Start the process. Man, my hair got wrecked. Don't know why you didn't tell me. I'm gonna have to go put some water in my hair. This is pretty wild. Yeah. So I think that sun's gonna pop up over the ridge here in about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna get going. Nothing like starting your morning with some chocks and socks. That's of course some chocos and some sockos. Chacos and sockos. The sun is just about to come over the ridge right there. Here's the scene this morning. All these flowers will start opening up with the sun. A good way to start the day is to get sunlight in your eyes within the first 30 minutes of waking up. A lot of podcasts and health and wellness experts have been talking about that lately. It basically resets your circadian rhythm to about 16 hours until you'll be tired. So that's generally how the body works. Up for 16 hours, sleeping for 8. And don't stare directly into the sun. It's not a good idea. It was a glorious night at a wonderful camp spot. Can't really think of many better ones. Done some road trips and gone through Montana, Wyoming. Had some really nice campsites, but this one is just remarkable. Take my morning supplements, vitamins. Daily I take few things you can see here. My personal routine is a multivitamin. I take fish oil, turmeric, ginger, vitamin D3, magnesium citrate, and then in my shaker I'm going to do powdered greens, creatine, and beta-alanine. That's kind of my morning routine, and then I'll do protein powder. So I do about 50-60 grams of protein in a shake, and that really just gets me feeling good for the morning. Beta-alanine. Take about a 1/3 tablespoon of the beta-alanine. So beta-alanine is a naturally occurring amino acid in your body. It slows the buildup of lactic acid. So it's great for endurance, for exercise. You can take it a couple times a day. Got the beta. Next is my creatine. Take 5 grams a day. Helps with strength. Creatine is probably the most widely accepted supplement that people use. Little to no side effects or detriments. Just make sure you drink enough water when you're having creatine. But creatine is also natural. And then I got my greens. Pretty much it for the greens. And these are the greens I like. I kind of choose what's on sale. I like this Garden of Life. There's also Amazing Greens is another good brand. Between the two, they pretty much get you everything you need as far as vitamins and minerals and everything that you might not get through your food. But if you get it through your food too, this is a little overkill, but it's better to cover all the bases than to not. That's kind of what I always say. All right, I'm gonna start organizing, putting the sleeping bags away, put the mattress away, and break down the tent. Packing up camp is always a sad thing to do. Back to the real world. This was a quick little trip, but I will definitely be back. This area is gorgeous and a very, very special place up here. So camp is broken down. I'm gonna do one more sweep, just make sure I didn't leave any trash or anything. I did notice some trash around from other people, so I'm probably gonna pick that up too. It is 9:20. I wanted to leave by 9:30. So we're gonna be hitting the road pretty quick. Another great morning out here. Also, someone went to the restroom in that hollow and used an obscene amount of toilet paper, and none of it's buried. They showed no effort to bury their paper or their waste. It's really disgusting. I don't know what's wrong with people. If you've been watching this channel for a while, obviously you're interested in the outdoors, so make sure you leave no trace. Bury your waste 6 inches deep. It's not that hard. These guys aren't even in the back country. They're car camping, so I don't know. There's no excuse for that. I'm gonna do a sweep of the camp, pick up some trash, and be hitting the road in just a couple minutes. I'm gonna go take a look at the river too. Plastic fork. Another piece. I saw this foil. And this cup lid. Let's check the tent spot. Looking good. Didn't leave anything, no stakes. Got everything. There's some foil over here by the fire pit. I'm not gonna go pick up the waste, but shame on y'all. Well, that's gonna do it for this campsite. Had my tent there. Beautiful view of Turret and the creek. Got our fire down here. Left a little bit of wood. Big space. Beautiful. Had the hammock there. Car's loaded up. We're ready to go. Fantastic camp spot. All right, friends and family, that's gonna do it. East Fork of the Cimarron, beautiful campsite. I'm gonna be heading home. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.